Today, we're diving into something that affects every single one of us, our comfort zones, and how we often become our biggest obstacles. Whether you're a creative trying to share your work, a parent navigating new challenges, working on your relationship, chasing a big goal, or building a business, understanding how to adjust your comfort zone rather than simply break out of it can be a game changer for your mental health and personal growth journey. Today, we'll explore why our brains create these invisible barriers, how to recognize when they're holding us back, and most importantly, 5 practical ways to make your comfort zone work for you instead of against you. Welcome to Adjusting. Welcome to Adjusting, a safe space for candid conversations about mental health and well being with your host, Justin G. Nelson. Whether you're recovering from trauma, redefining your purpose, managing mental health, or simply craving more authenticity, this show is for you. I hope something resonates with you and helps you on your own personal journey. So sit back, relax, and let's start adjusting. And we're back with another episode of Adjusting Podcast with your host, Justin G. Nelson. Thank you all for tuning in this week. These next 7 episodes are really going to be fun, very life applicable, but very timely. And I want these episodes, like every episode, I want them to be something where you can just drop in, find a topic and say, I need to listen to something that resonates to this part of my life or what's going on right now. So season 2 will be ending September 2nd. I know. But I need some time to now focus on guests and getting the interview set up, and I'm teaching again this fall, so I need time to get acclimated and do all those things. So we have about 6 more weeks of adjusting before season 3. I don't know when season 3 is going to be yet. It's going to be sooner rather than later. I would not leave y'all hanging for that long again, but that's an update. Okay. And we're going to have some new things in season 3. I'm excited about that, but more in season 3. So first and foremost, thank you to TJ with TJ Podcast for editing. And if you would like to support me and my other brands, you can do so by following my vegan lifestyle brand, which is at Earthy and Cultured, my branding and marketing page, which is at Type J Marketing, or you can follow my creative journey as I continue to work towards getting on Broadway. My personal page is at Justin G. Nelson on all platforms. So LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, all those things. Great. Do not forget to subscribe to the Substack channel where you can check out Adjusted Perspectives. Subscribe to YouTube and you watch on YouTube. Like I have a video component that goes with this. You can listen to the adjusting affirmations, and then I am finishing up Break the Cycle, which will be the first book in the adjusted annotation series. So I'm making like a multiverse of adjusting. That's my Marvel people. So without further ado, let's do our sacred breathing. We're going to do 2 today. Okay. So it's the 4, 7, 8 breathing. You got to breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and release on us for 8. Okay. So if you're driving, focus on the road. That's important. Because somebody, the other day, I was on TikTok. I was on TikTok. And if you are of the age to have seen Final Destination, and you remember that scene where the truck on the road was driving, as one does, but they had those logs, the tree logs, like the very, very long, like poles almost, and it came through the windshield of the car. Yeah, that happened. Allegedly. Could have been AI, I don't know. But I need you to focus on the road. I don't need you breathing and then right. So if you are home or in a place where you can join me for the sacred breath, I welcome you right now to ground your feet, relax your toes and your ankles, relax your shins, your calves, your knees, relax your hips, Relax your thighs, relax your stomach. Put a hand on your stomach. Move up. Relax your chest. Relax your shoulders and your neck. Relax your chin, your cheeks, your forehead. Put the other hand on your heart and close your eyes. And let's begin. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let it all out. Empty the tank. Empty the tank. One more time, a little slower. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let it all out. Let it all out. Let it all out. Great. All right. So today we are talking about adjusting your comfort zone. I know. Everyone's just like, well, my comfort zone is my comfort zone. Yeah, but sometimes that very comfort zone can be the same thing that is holding you back from living your truest self. It is a safety net that just needs to be snipped. You can have a comfort zone, but don't let that comfort zone be what holds you back from living the life you know you deserve. Okay? So let's talk about it. So in section 1, we're talking about addressing your comfort zone. And I want to start by defining what is a comfort zone. So in theory, it's your body, your brain, your nervous system's way of saying, this feels good. I feel safe here. We are home. This is just where I can let my hair down and just be me. Okay. Your mind creates these invisible boundaries already without you saying this is a boundary. Your mind is just like, okay, this is going to be my protection. This is going to serve me as a shield. This is going to keep me in a place where I am at ease. Okay. That part of your brain that's always scanning for danger, it sees new and thinks threat. So I didn't want to put too many technical terms in this episode, but it'll be in the adjusted perspective because I talked about a few terms, but I didn't want to overwhelm you. But this made sense, like that whole the scanning for danger and the invisible boundaries made sense when a part of your life, like you felt like you had to be in fight, flight, fawn, or freeze mode. But sometimes we block amazing opportunities or we block ourselves from experiencing something new. There's a big difference between healthy boundaries, things you choose based on your values, and limiting beliefs, stories you tell yourself about what you can't do. So like that's kind of where imposter syndrome comes from or creeps into that comfort zone and you make this facade. It's just like, oh, it's not meant for me to do. I'm just, I'm going to stay here and protect my peace. Wow. Yeah. And the mental health connection here is when anxiety and depression are present, your comfort zone often shrinks, even smaller as your brain tries to protect you from any additional stress. Yeah. So that comfort zone, while it has comfort in it, that zone is just shrinking. It's just like you're on that island. You're on an island, it's just like, oh, I have everything I need that you think you need. Like, yeah, you have your basics, your water, your food, your shelter, and activities of your limb, but there are other elements because of stress and anxiety and depression that has like drift away. So we're going to talk about the self-sabotaging pattern. Your brain will literally work against you to keep things exactly the same, even when the same isn't working. This is where the inner child comes in. So a lot of your comfort zone boundaries were formed when you were little and needed protection. You can have a comfort zone or a safe space for your inner child to continue to heal and play and explore and grow, but there has to be a sense of thrill, or there has to be a moment where you can like actually explore to see, oh, this isn't bad. Like I allowed someone else's Wow. I allowed someone else's fear or perception of something to give me that automatic um what's the word I'm looking for? It's like if someone says, okay, for example, a lot of people say I don't like Brussels sprouts. So immediately you're like, I don't like them either. Like you didn't try. Like when did you sit down and actually eat some good Brussels sprouts to say it's not bad? You just don't like it, but I like it. So it's kind of like that, but with your experiences. Like people say such and such doesn't have good music. Well, I haven't listened to it. Let me get my own opinion about it. Ah, yes, opinions. People's opinions sometimes are dressed up and presented as facts, but it's not. This is their opinion. And everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but don't let someone else's opinion deter you from an experience that you might like. That's what I wanted to say. So back to the inner child, the part of you that's scared to speak up. It might be your 8-year-old self who got laughed at when they shared an idea, who got laughed at when they wanted to express themselves, when they wanted to, if you're a guy, if you wanted to play with a doll, or you're a girl, you wanted to play with trucks, like that part of you ran and high. You didn't feel like your comfort zone or that space as a child was validated, or you didn't feel like you could just be you. And it also shows up as the perfectionism that keeps you from finishing projects. Could your inner child be trying to avoid disappointing someone important? We talk about this a lot. We give other people too much power for our joy or our peace or our success. Like, yeah, sure, awards come from a board of people who vote, but at the end of the day, when you pass and when you die, none of this matters. So it's about creating experiences that bring you joy and continue to expand your comfort zone so that you're able to live a life that's pleasing to our King, but it's also living a life that you are proud of. That you say, I did that, I experienced that, that wasn't for me, but I tried it. Trauma responses often show up in comfort zones. Sometimes what feels like laziness or self sabotage is actually your nervous system protecting you from perceived threats. So for creatives, you perfect your work forever instead of sharing it, terrified of what people might think. For parents, you try to control everything because you're scared that one wrong move will mess up your child. And I was on a TikTok live the other day. Well, I was watching one. I was at work, but I was watching one. And it was 3 male therapists, one of which I'm hoping will be on the podcast next season. But we were talking about just Black men in therapy. And I think two of the three, or one of the three, they often see children in therapy because their parents are like, oh, my child's going to be great because I got them in therapy at a young age. But what some people don't realize is that that parent is weaponizing therapy as a way to not groom their child, but to make their child seem perfect. When in actuality, the child is just like, I'm happy to be here because they are doing too much. They being the parent. And so while parents are trying, I don't want my child to have the experience I grew up with, so I want to put them in therapy now. Maybe you're the reason they're in therapy. I'm sorry, but that could very well be the reason they're in therapy. Like they are overwhelmed, they are smothered, They don't feel that you actually see them as a child, but you see them as your little best friend. And they're a kid. Like, they got to have some experiences. Anyway, in relationships, sorry, I got off track. In relationships, you pull back right when things get real because vulnerability feels dangerous. And that also speaks to the anxious and avoidant personalities that really started as a child. For people who are goal setters, you procrastinate or feel like a fraud when things start working out. That was me when I started this podcast. I thought people were going to question my experiences or my expertise. And like, well, everyone got a podcast. We'll make sure it's different. Child, listen, everything I talk about, I can back up. hmm And for entrepreneurs, you're scared of failing, but also weirdly scared of succeeding. You're just like, well, I want 10K followers and I want to be successful, but I don't want to fail. Listen, pick one. Okay, either you go do it or you ain't gonna do it. But you can't be gray about it. Like, the scale has to balance at some point, and you want it to either lean more towards succeeding and not the what ifs and failing. Great. When your actions don't match who you think you are, your brain freaks out and finds ways to get you back to normal. That's usually me when it comes to auditions. The inner child connection. Sometimes you need to have a general conversation with the younger part of yourself and let them know they're safe now. So I think that's one takeaway from this episode so far. It's just to find time to check in with your inner child before the nervous system goes in the fight, flight, fawn, or freeze mode. Like, really say, hey, how are you feeling? This is something new. I just want to, make sure you know that I got you. If things get overwhelmed, we can leave. We can leave. Remember, at the end of the day, you are in control. If something doesn't feel good, leave. If someone doesn't feel right, leave. If some experience is just not, just leave. Just leave. Especially in New York, baby, you can do an Irish exit and be like, gotta go. And jump on the train and go home. I love that. And also, depression shows up when in the inner child world of it all. When you're depressed, everything outside of your comfort zone can feel impossible. Even small steps feel overwhelming. So if you are listening to this and you are sensing some depression, just do another breathing. Just do one more. Don't do any more than one. But just do another breathing and let your body know you're okay. I am worthy. I deserve to be here. Okay? So now we're going to recognize your personal comfort zone boundaries. Okay. Your body tells you first. So you're going to feel a tight chest. Okay. You can't breathe deep, butterflies, tense shoulders. I think some people start to not call them butterflies, but like moths. Okay. Your emotions follow. Suddenly you're anxious, you're irritated, you're wanting to run away, making excuses. Your thoughts get loud. What if everything goes wrong? I'm not good enough. This will never work. Real intuition versus fear. Intuition feels calm and clear. Fear feels chaotic and catastrophic. Your anxiety amplifies. If you struggle with anxiety, these signals might feel much more intense and urgent than they actually are. And then depression's numbness. So if you're dealing with depression, you might not feel much of anything. Yeah, which can make it hard to know where your edges are. So if you experience any of these signs or symptoms, be sure to check in with yourself because you don't want to crash out or say something you would regret or lash out at something or send something, just like really check in with your comfort zone. Everyone shouldn't be welcome into your comfort zone. It's yours. Okay. Now, section 2, adjusting your comfort zone. So this is the adjustment versus the breakout mindset. When you talk about breaking out, your nervous system here is danger. Watch your back, danger. That's my throwback moment. Think about adjusting instead, like turning up the volume slowly instead of blasting it. Okay, so you want to kind of ease into the reaction or ease into the shift instead of just cranking up the volume. It's like, I'm out of here. There's a sweet spot between too easy and completely overwhelming. That sweet spot, that gray area, that in between moment, that's where the growth happens. Small, gradual steps actually stick better than dramatic leaps. Again, small, gradual steps actually stick better than dramatic leaps. It's just like in dance, you know. You don't want to go straight to like a triple turn. Like sometimes you got to do quarters. Okay, turn down, turn down. You got to build up to it. As with everything else. Why this matters. Most people fail at comfort zone work because they go too big too fast, triggering their fear responses, then retreat back to where they started. You got to ease into it, okay? Gradual. Gentle expansion actually help heal your nervous system instead of re-traumatizing it. You can create more trauma and more triggers. And it's kind of like what we talked about last week with the wires and the neuroplasticity of it all and creating these pathways in your brains. Like when you ease into a new space in your comfort zone, you are telling your brain that we are creating a more healthy route to get to a place of joy and comfort by easing into it. It's just like when you're in the gym, okay? And you're building these muscles and you're trying to get a nice chest or a six pack or some guns, bicep, triceps. That doesn't happen in one session. No, it doesn't. So you really have to ease into that comfort zone and slowly work those muscles, that container we talked about, the nibbling and gorging of it all, until you get to a place where it's easy and you can stay there for a while, but nothing in your life should ever be the same. Period. Okay. When you get to a new level, I'm not saying you don't need to celebrate, because I struggle with it. I struggle with celebrating these new levels and these new areas of joy and peace and accomplishment. And I don't sit with it long enough. So I'm telling you, sit with it some more, but don't stay there. Because that comforts, and you get a little too settled and it's just like, this is good. This is easy. But life is coming at you fast. You're just like, oh, okay, I got to keep adjusting. I got to keep turning it up a little bit, because today's joy is probably tomorrow's like stress. And so it's just a matter of shifting and keeping up with the time. Understanding your nervous system response. When you feel threatened, you either want to fight, run away, freeze up, or please everyone. That's the fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. These aren't character flaws, okay? This is just how your body responds naturally. Your nervous system. Being around calm, supportive people actually helps your nervous system stay calmer too. I am one of the calmest people to be around. I will say that because I refuse to add fuel to the flames. Because if we in a stressful situation, baby, everybody can't be stressed. Like, I need somebody to be calm. Or like, the building's on fire. We know that. We can smell it. We can see it. We can feel it. Calm down. Okay, your stress is not gonna make the flames go down. So get away from me. But everyone has a different capacity for handling stress. Me. Some days you can handle more, some days less. Again, you are human. Take breaks. Disconnect yourself from people. Because every day, if they are stressed every day, they need something. Because ain't no way in hell somebody should be stressed every day. Okay? Learning to recognize your limits help you know when to push and when to rest. Again, back in the gym. If you know you can't bench press a certain weight, take some weights off. Okay? And then rest. And then try on that last set to do like one good push, one good burnout. And then you'll know, yes, this is my new limit. The key insight is your nervous system doesn't distinguish between real danger and perceived danger. It just reacts. There is nothing in your body that says, oh, this is real. Let's really panic. Or this is you overthinking and overanalyzing something. They don't know the difference. It's just like with certain sweeteners and sugars you put in your body, or fats or carbs. Like, your body really doesn't know the difference between a Burger King or something else you've made. They just know it's protein, fat, or carbs coming in. But you should know, like, the chemical elements, your body knows that. What this means for you: if you can help your system feel safer during growth, you'll expand more easily. If you have trauma in your background, your nervous system might be extra sensitive, and that is okay. It just means you might need smaller steps and more support. Now, this is the growth mindset connection. Some people think abilities are fixed. You're either good at something or you're not. Others believe you can develop almost any skill with effort and practice. When you believe you can grow, challenges become interesting instead of terrifying. So when you change your mindset and just like, I'm going to approach this from, I know I can do this. I just need to take small steps. So like with me with tap dancing, I know I can tap dance, but I went into it the wrong way. I went into it just straight performing and not classes. This is when class and technique is very valuable. Sometimes people get the experience and they want to go back and get the nitty gritty. I think that's how I was when it came to branding and marketing, but then the pandemic happened. And so I took every marketing class available. But remember to be kind to yourself when you mess up. Actually, that makes you braver, not soft. Okay, you are acknowledging, I fucked up, but I can do it again with what I know. That's bravery, not I fucked up, I'm a failure, no one's going to want to work with me, and no one's going to hire me for something. That makes you a little soft, The mindset shift is, instead of I failed, try I learned something valuable. I learned something that I can now apply in other steps of this process. Why self-compassion works? It's because when you know you'll treat yourself kindly no matter what happens, taking risk feels safer. So we need to practice some self-compassion. We need to know, did you die? I didn't die. I may got a little bruise, but ain't nothing a little witch hazel and tea tree oil won't fix up, okay? So I tried, and I know what it feels like. I didn't get the outcome I wanted, but I tried. So now I'm able to go back to my comfort zone a little bit, regroup, take some time, and take a smaller step towards what it is I want and the expansion I desire within my comfort zone. The mindset doesn't just change how you handle challenges, it changes how others see you handle them, which affects your relationships and your opportunity. The mindset doesn't just change how you handle challenges, it changes how others see you handle them, which affects your relationships and opportunities. So if people see that you got, for me, like an audition, I didn't book a certain show. If I go, fuck this industry, I'm sick of these people, I'm done with this, people just like, oh God, like you do not handle rejection well. Instead of go, oh, okay, well, congratulations to the people who got booked. I'm going to be shady. I'm going to say, congratulations to the people who got booked. Granted, it's the same people that I was getting booked, but I know something will come for me when it is time. Listen, I was shady, but I knew how to speak to myself to know that it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I tried. I was brave. I went to that room and I tried. Every time you choose growth over safety, you're literally rewiring your neural pathways that support resilience and emotional regulation. We're building some healthy brain patterns here, people. So the mental health benefits for comfort zone adjustments. Take out your notepads. Okay, you can pause here, get some paper. We're gonna look a little deeper into the mental health aspect of it. For anxiety, gradual exposure to manageable challenges actually reduces overall anxiety over time. So take it easy and lead with grace and compassion. Someone told me that the other day, like lead with grace and patience and compassion. Be sure to encourage yourself and even reward yourself for trying if you fail. For depression, small wins from comfort zone expansion can help you rebuild your sense of agency and hope. It also helps to build confidence and remind yourself that you are loved and needed. For trauma recovery, gentle boundary expression helps you reclaim parts of your life while staying within your window of tolerance. So if you have gone through something and you are like, that is not going to be my identity, that is not who I am, that is not who I want other people to know me as or see me as, this is where I reclaim my joy and discover new areas of peace and exploration. Building emotional resilience. Each time you successfully navigate discomfort, you're building evidence that you can handle whatever life throws at you. And breaking the avoidance cycle. Comfort zone work interrupts the pattern of avoiding things that make you anxious, but actually makes anxiety worse over time. All right. So that was a lot for those first two sections, but I really want us to adjust our comfort zone just a little bit. Just a little bit. Now, section 3, we're talking about once you apply these things, how your future self would benefit from these adjustments. So, number 1, your future will have unshakable confidence. Shake it up. You will trust yourself to handle whatever comes your way because you've proven it to yourself over and over. Those daily choices to do the scary thing, you've built up into a rock solid belief in your abilities. So if you know that you struggle with discipline or consistency, like those small steps you've done leads to this whole new you. You're showing up as a new person. Same body, new person. You won't need permission from anyone else to go after what you want. So this looks like speaking up at meetings, being the first person to raise your hand, sharing your creative work, trying new things, making decisions without overthinking them to death. Your future you will navigate relationships with ease. You'll be able to have difficult conversations without your heart jumping out your chest. Vulnerability will feel natural instead of terrifying because you've practiced it in small ways. You'll attract deeper, more meaningful friendships or that future partner because they see the work you have done and like, that's sexy. That is a healed person. That is a green flag. Okay, we need more green flags out here. Way more green flags. But you're showing up as your real self. Now, this looks like setting boundaries kindly but firmly, asking for what you need, and being honest about your feelings. Communication, people. That's all people need. That is the biggest thing that lacks in friendships and relationships is honest, healthy communication because we are too concerned about how the other person is going to react, not always speaking from a place of vulnerability and saying, this is how I'm feeling. And I know you may take it one way, but that's why we got to talk about it. That's why we got to talk about it. Number 3, your future you will take bold actions on your dreams. Procrastination won't be your default setting anymore, okay? You're going to show up and you're going to be ready to work. You rewired your brain and you're like, well, procrastination who? No, I got this. You'll start projects without needing them to be perfect first. Someday goals will be working on it right now realities, okay? We're not putting anything off in this future self with this new comfort zone. So this looks like launching that business, writing that book, making that career change, putting you first. Number 4, your future you will handle stress like a pro. Okay. When life gets overwhelming, you'll have tools that actually work instead of just pushing through. You'll know the difference between good stress, the challenge, or the bad stress, which is overwhelm. Your nervous system will be your ally instead of something that works against you. So, what this looks like, here's the big picture: looking and being and feeling calm in a crisis, bouncing back from setbacks faster, and not taking everything too personally. That's it. That's it. And number five, the last one, your future you will live with authentic freedom. Yeah. You'll make choices based on what feels right to you and not what others expected. You're not living up to anyone else's expectation. Your future you, with the adjustments of your comfort zone, healing and rewiring your neural pathways, and the neuroplasticity of it all, setting those boundaries, you will make choices that feel good to you and not what others expect. Fear will still show up, but it won't be the boss of your life anymore. You'll trust your gut and act on it, even when it doesn't make sense to anyone else. What this looks like: living aligned with your values, saying no without guilt, and following your intuition. Y'all, this episode, y'all might have to listen to this twice, okay? Because it's good. I'm definitely going to make sure I put a lot of more content and context in the adjusted perspective. So please check that out. I'm really going to link it below. So here's some key takeaways. Your comfort zone isn't something to battle against. It's a tool to be calibrated. When you learn to adjust it gradually and intentionally, you're not just building resilience, you're literally rewiring your brain to see possibilities instead of threats. The strongest people aren't those who never feel fear. They're the ones who have learned to dance with the discomfort while staying connected to their values and their goals. This work is healing, okay? This work should feel like joy personified. This work should make you jump out the bed like, I am working on this comfort zone. I am finding my purpose. I am rewiring who I was to who I want to be. Every small step forward is both an act of courage and an investment. An investment to my crypto people in your mental health and emotional well-being. So remember, adjusting your comfort zone is a practice, not a destination. Every time you choose growth over safety, you're building what I call your courage muscle. And like any muscle, it gets stronger with consistent use. So if you can go to the gym today, think of this as your mental workout. Your healing journey and mental health aren't about becoming fearless. They're about becoming fear-friendly. Before our next episode, I want you to pick one of these 5 strategies to experiment with. Really figure out which of the 5 future yous you want to connect more with, and then take some time to reflect and make small steps each day or each week so that your future you, and it doesn't have to be a you 5 years from now, it could be a you 5 weeks from now, but it just takes time, and it takes making time for the healing practice and the small courage muscles to be worked. Okay? So until next time, keep adjusting, and be sure to share this episode with someone that you feel has just found a little too much comfort in their comfort zone, and encourage them to make those small steps. Until next time, bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I hope you take something away to help you make the adjustments you need. Before you go, please take a quick second to share this with someone you care about. And if you can, please leave a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you're listening to this on. For more information about adjusting or to inquire about being a guest, head over to adjustingpod.com. Until next time.